Today we hear from U.S. Representative Clay Higgins from Louisiana. Thank you for making the time today, Congressman.
Yes, sir. Good morning to you.
Good morning to you as well. And now Border Patrol agents, they have captured 50 people who were on the FBI's terror watch list since last October to the end of May. That number was only 15 in fiscal year 2021, which included several months under the Trump administration. What does this suggest about border security and policy?
Well, known and suspected terrorists as a component of the active running criminals that aggressively evade interaction with law enforcement at the border, referred to as gotaways in our numbers and in common language of the Border Patrol. Known and suspected terrorists, the percentage of the numbers of the men that actually escape is a best guess, and we try to use conservative numbers amongst the law enforcement personnel. There's no way to really verify these numbers, so it's best to use conservative numbers. But the administration, since Biden has been in office, has used absurd numbers that some of us believe are very low. Last year, towards the end of last year, I had estimated that we had lost about 250 KSTs, known as suspected terrorists. So the total numbers now that we're told could serve that about 700,000 gotaways are suspected to have crossed into America. I think that's a low number, but just using that number for the sake of estimation for known and suspected terrorists, a common number is 1 per 1,000. So you would suspect that a reasonable man would surmise that we have 700 known and suspected terrorists in our country crossed into our country since the Biden administration has been in office. That would include last year's numbers as well as this year's numbers thus far.
And certainly these are very dangerous people. Now, Congressman, I want to address just a simple logic issue. Maybe you can clear this up. If you're saying that the number of terrorists encountered at the border is because of less manpower, wouldn't that mean that there are less Border Patrol agents out there apprehending these terrorists? Wouldn't you think that there would be less in that case? Or is it that these terrorists know that there are less obstacles and that's why more are coming? Exactly.
This is why the numbers that I'm giving are very reasonable and actually conservative numbers. The Border Patrol, the entire law enforcement team, and again, this has impacted local and state law enforcement as well, based upon the federal mission, which is your primary law enforcement jurisdictional authority across our southern border. Our sovereign borders constitutionally are to be protected by the federal government. But the federal law enforcement men and women work very closely with state and local law enforcement. And that entire mission parameter has been shifted under Biden administration policies, forcing the law enforcement professionals who are tasked with securing our border. They've been forced into a role of processing incoming illegal aliens into the asylum application system.
U.S. Representative Clay Higgins from Louisiana, thank you so much for sharing your insight on this.
Thank you, sir.